This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 86 of the Wisdom by WESA show on the Horse Radio Network. This is Mike Donnell.
I'm Casey Wilbanks-Coletti.
And this is Sophia Aguila. Welcome to Wisdom by WESA on the Horse Radio Network.
This podcast is brought to you by the Western and English Sales Association, WESA, which provides the world's largest trade events for retailers, manufacturers, and sales representatives of the equestrian industry. In this podcast, we feature exclusive interviews with noteworthy Western and English personalities, retailers, and exhibitors who you've always wanted to talk to. Don't miss out on all the news from manufacturers and retailers in the equine industry. Sophia, you just wrapped up the board meeting. Can you share some behind-the-scenes moments with all of us?
Yes, so the members volunteer their time to the association and travel to Colorado for the board meeting to discuss various topics in person for about 2 to 3 days. And the topics or the categories are divided by committees. So, for example, we have the rules committee or the golf committee.
What decisions can you share with us at this point?
Well, speaking of the golf committee, so for the 20th annual WESA Benefit Golf Tournament, we're combining the WESA Offside Party and the WESA Golf Tournament to host one event at Topgolf. So we're bringing all the fun from those two events into one night at Topgolf on August 24th. And even better, the first retailers that sign up for the WESA trade show starting on May 1st can actually win the early bird prize, which is a buy one, get one ticket to the golf tournament and a complimentary hotel stay at the Hilton Anatole. So that's only for the first 20 buyers. So be fast and claim your ticket. You can find out more information by going to wesatreasure.com/event-schedule or by emailing Tracy or by calling us at 800-295-1041.
What do many barrel horses, cutting horses, reining horses, as well as pigs, lambs, goats, and cattle found at stock shows have in common? They often stand on stall mats, custom designed by Ashley Heflin and manufactured to her exacting specifications. Not only do her mats provide comfort for animals who stand on their feet for long periods of time, but the bright colors and eye-catching designs of her pads appeal to their owners. Ashley tells the story of her company today, AH Performance. Ashley, thank you for being on the Wisdom by WESA podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I'm immediately going to turn this over to my great co-host, Casey Wilbanks-Coletti. You and she have a lot in common in terms of growing up in the rodeo world, being horse people, but I think it's going to be a lot more fun to listen to the two of you talk. So, Casey, get it going.
Yeah, well, he usually throws it to me when it involves jewelry or clothes, but now I get stall mat. It's so great to have you today, Ashley. Thanks for coming on with us.
Yes, thank you.
So immediately, obviously, I'm drawn to your product. We had some chatter before we started this interview. I have a horse that eats dirt, and we've tried everything. We can't figure out why. I mean, it's none of the typical thing causes. So she just does it. It is what it is, which at home, it's easy to keep her on stall mats. But when I travel or go somewhere, it poses a problem because not everywhere you go are they going to have mats. So it's interesting. Just start out with telling us, we'll talk about maybe the weight of them, taking them with you on the road and why your particular mat would be easy to do that.
Yes, so our mats are 17 pounds, so they're extremely lightweight. I mean, you can hold them under your arm. I actually have a 2-year-old,
nice.
So I hold my 2-year-old on one arm and my mat on the other. So it's super easy. The concept is that, my slogan is haul and stall like a champion. So the concept is you throw them in the trailer so your horse can stand on them while you're, driving down the road. And then when they're so light, you just pull them right out, lay them next to the trailer. And like a lot of people, including myself, like when I get to a show, I'll just leave my horse tied to the trailer for a few hours.
Yeah.
That way they're not standing on concrete or hard dirt.
Right.
And then, of course, if you stay the night, then you just roll them up, walk over to your stall and put them right in there. So basically, you can get, every use out of them just at one show, 3 different ways even. So they're extremely lightweight. They have a vinyl, actually a custom thickness of vinyl on the top. and it's closed cell foam bottom. And so you can spray it with the water hose. It won't absorb moisture. It's 1.25 inches thick, so that comfort is there. And it protects the dirt. So if your horse eats dirt, they can't get to it. So
yeah, I mean, it's like this was made for me to do this interview today. I always say when it's jewelry or something, I'm sitting here shopping, and now, Mike, I'm buying stall mats. So.
Well, and that's true, because as you'll get to it, these are not just plain old one color mats. There's a lot of design. I don't know what design your horse would prefer, but there are a lot of designs in color and, if you will, a fashion aspect to what Ashley does. So you might run a little bit about that by us, Ashley.
Yeah, so our mats are actually the only wall-to-wall designs with leopard, serape. I've got turquoise stone. They're the only ones on the market with these designs. So I can get pretty funky designs. Of course, that's me. So I started out like that. I'm the first to come out with a leopard stall mat, and as of right now, the only. And they are the biggest hit. I've got the turquoise stone, the serape, like I said, and I'm coming out with, every few months I come out with like a new design. So trying to keep it, holiday themed or anything like that. But that way there's a variety. I also have, just special Aztec that's like a gray and charcoal. And those are geared more towards maybe the guys. But we do have solid colors too. Not everybody is as funky as some of us. So we offer all of the solid like base colors. But then, of course, we do have the really fun designs. And then we do have the capability of, making custom mats. So I've partnered with the Extreme Million, Team Fearless with Cindy Blanchard. And so like they have custom mats that we offer those team members that have their designs on them. So we're opening up into that world as well. So, if you want a custom mat with your design, call us up.
What are the measurements width and length?
Yeah, so I've got 3 different sizes that I offer. So the first size is a 5x10, so 5 foot wide, 10 foot long. Mm-hmm. And that is our actually most common size. And that's because 2 mats fill a 10x10 stall. And normally when you're traveling, that's the average size of the stall is 2, 10x10, sorry. And so 2 fill that stall completely up. There's no open space. So you don't have to worry about your horse touching concrete. You don't have to worry about anything. It's completely full. And then it rolls up, and then, you carry them. And so you've got 2 lightweight mats. Our other size is a 6x9 by 1.25 inches. And that's obviously a foot wider, but those are more popular with people who basically just want one mat, and they're okay with having some open space in the stall. So you just center it in the stall, and then you kind of work your shavings around it. Of course, you don't need as many shavings with these mats because the comfort is there. So you just want some shavings to absorb the urine. But that's the popular size for that. Also, the 6x9s are popular for people who necessarily don't really stay the night a lot of places, but they want them at the trailer. And that extra foot goes a long way. So when your horse is standing at the trailer, you can probably put about 2 horses even on a 6x9 just because of the width. I also carry a 3x6 by 1 inch, and that's popular with my livestock shows. So they fit perfectly on a fitting stand. So we've got the show goats, the show pigs, lambs, cattle, all of those. Those are really popular for that size. And I've actually had quite a few people buy them for their dogs.
Yeah, I can see that. I was going to mention it not just for, horse stall mats, but obviously would definitely come in handy for livestock shows.
Yes, they're very popular there. I mean, I can't really pinpoint that just my 3x6s are popular with the livestock. They like all the sizes, but I specifically created those sizes for the fitting stands, just because they fit so perfectly on there. And then of course, the 5x10s are very popular too, because a lot of families want to sit on them themselves. You go to a livestock show and you're sitting right there with your show steer the whole day, right? And you're right there with them. So they'll buy, one for themselves and one for their show calf. So it's kind of a win for everybody.
So I have a question. They are lightweight. Do they seem to, for lack of better words, blow away easy if, you take your horse to use them and they're not standing on them?
So I'm originally from West Texas, and so I was actually
where the
out
wind
there,
blows.
yeah, where the wind blows. So I actually have tested this because I've moved out to Central Texas, and on windy days, quote that everyone's like, "Oh man, it's windy." I'm like, "Yeah, not really." So I've been back to West Texas and used the mats, and I'll say of the days that it's like 40-mile-an-hour gusts, right? It'll lift it a little bit if your horse isn't standing on it, yes. But for the most part, like I went to a couple barrel races out in Andrews, and the wind was blowing what I consider West Texas wind.
Sure.
And my mats didn't fly away. Now, granted, the 6x9 or the 3x6s, they only weigh 10 pounds. Those will blow away. But my bigger mats, I haven't had an issue with that. And if your horses are standing on them, even the ends don't really blow up. So I haven't had it's not a big concern of mine. I actually have some friends who purchased them up in Canada. I had a lot of questions too, like, will they hold up on the snow? Absolutely. I'd rather my horse be standing on a mat than standing on the snow. So they hold up very well in the cold too.
And these definitely would come in handy. So many rodeos, especially like the building winter rodeos, the parking lot is concrete, and at some places the stalls are on concrete, and these would absolutely come in handy because the other option in stall mats are so heavy. I have to use a vice grip to kind of move them, and you cannot roll them up.
And you know what? You're going to save your money. So if you do the math, and you're someone who travels a lot, so you're renting, the traditional rubber mat, and you're buying shavings, that's a lot per rodeo.
Yes.
And if you're going to a rodeo almost every weekend, that's a lot of money. So these actually save you in the long run. You're going to save money on shaving. You're going to be able to use them not only in the stall, but at the trailer. Like you said, you show up, you don't know if you've never been there, you don't know if you're going to stand on concrete or mud or dirt. And so you always have something there for your horses. I had a lady, I went to the Kinder Cup. She came up to me and said, I have to wrap my horse's legs everywhere I go, even with mats and shavings. And she's like, this weekend, I didn't wrap my horse's legs on your mats. And she didn't stock up, and we ran great. And she's like, sold. So it made me feel good. Nice. I'm like, okay, that's great. You know what I mean? People are really taking note that they are actually like making your horse feel better. I mean, I personally stand on them, and I'm like, yes. It's instant comfort when you stand on them.
Sure. Well, see, Mike, you could get one and stand on it.
And stand on it. I could get one and stand on it. I probably could. I mean, obviously, you want to sell these mats. And obviously, we have a lot of retailers who listen to this show. We have a lot of people who are horse people also who listen to the show. Let's talk about two things. Let's first talk about if we're standing here today and somebody listens to this show and says, I want one, I want three, whatever. How do they go about buying those from you?
Yeah, so they can either email me or actually go right onto the website. And if there's anything available to ship, it shows my stock. They can just order right off of the website. If it's a custom order, I just need the email being sent to me and a logo with their file, or a vector file of whatever they want on there, and we could go from there. Any store or retail, that would be directly through email, because I would give, custom quotes to everybody based on the amount of mats that they're wanting. So we do offer discounts for larger purchases.
Well, that's good, because I think there may be retailers who are listening who would like to offer this, if not in stock, as a product they can offer to their horse-owning customers. And, of course, I think you probably market a lot right there. I remember you telling me when we had our conversation a couple days ago, these mats are made exactly to your specifications in terms of strength and size. These are not just a commonly available mat that you put your designs on. Is that correct?
Correct. I actually went to a manufacturer and said, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Can you work with me? What is the best option? I don't want just, the same specs that's already out there or that could potentially be out there. I want 100% custom mat. That way, every single person that buys an AH Performance mat knows they're getting a custom mat regardless if it's with their custom logo, it's a custom mat. And so our foam on the bottom is a certain density that's specific to my mats. The vinyl on top is a certain ounce that's specific to our mats. So it's every way you look at it. And our mats are also 100% made in the USA. The vinyl, the foam, 100%. And so we're really proud to say that as well.
Well, and we're proud to hear that. Now, another question that I was going to ask, you may be the only guest we've had so far who's never been to a WESA show, but you want to go. And yep. It was a great conversation we had because most of our guests have been to WESA. They've been to the show. They know what it looks like. They know what to expect. And you were all enthusiastic about going to your first WESA show. So talk about what it is about WESA and their shows that appeals to you at this point in time.
So I have done a lot of research about you guys. Not only on social media, but your website and also word of mouth. I have been told by so many people, you need to go to WESA, you need to go to WESA. And so I was like, I've heard of it. I've never actually been in a position to go, but now I definitely am. And I have done so much research that I think it'd be beneficial for not only myself, my customers, and of course other people as well. And your show is so well put together and professional. To me, that makes a world of difference. It's not just your normal small trade show. Like, it is a big deal. And I think that is what really excites me the most.
Well, and it is a big deal, and I think you're going to be a big deal when you show up with all of your various mats. But I just thought it was interesting that we have a guest who hasn't been there yet, and I believe WESA will match all of your expectations. I think you'll leave the show very happy. I think a lot of people will be very happy you're going to be at the show, and it's been great just chatting with you. By the way, do you have a mat, or can you design a mat that looks like dirt? Because then maybe Casey's horse would be happy.
So happy.
I bet I can make that happen. I just created one that looks like wood planks, which I thought was funny.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it almost looks just like a pallet.
How funny.
So, I can do anything. Yeah, you get me a file, I can make it work. If your horse wants to stand on a very comfortable mat to remind him of dirt, we can make it happen.
She'll be licking the mat.
Yeah.
So, Ashley, I know you have a website. I don't think we mentioned really what the website address is, and I know you're talking about revamping it and having even a brand new one. So talk a bit about that, if you will.
Yeah, so our current website is heflinequinetherapy.com. It's HEFLIN equinetherapy.com. That'll take you straight to my mats. You can order from there. My email is also attached to that website. Moving forward, probably later in the year, we're going to have an entire revamp, and I'll have an entire new website. Just keep an eye out for the release of that, but that web address will still take you to the new one later on.
Ashley, listen, thanks so much for being on Wisdom by WESA. It's fun to talk to you. We love to see enthusiastic entrepreneurs in our business who have found a market niche and have found the way to fill it. Clearly, you match those specifications, and so it's been a great having you as a guest on Wisdom by WESA.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming. And again, now I'm sitting here on the website. Definitely need a couple of these.
What's your favorite? What are you going to get? What design are you going to get?
Well, I would just go for just plain black or gray or something.
Oh,
I'm pretty simple.
Where's your creative? Where's your creative sense?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm going to go with the leopard. That's my favorite. I can't get over it. So.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, there's turquoise stone too, so it can match all the turquoise jewelry that you buy,
Nice.
Oh, she has that.
Yeah,
yep.
So cool. Well, see, at this point, my daughter's the boss, so everything is pink. So
hey,
there's that.
You just keep scrolling. We've got pink on there too. Any color design you want, we've got it. I promise.
Thanks, Ashley. The show notes and links from today's show are on the website wisdombywesa.com. And of course, we'd love to hear your feedback. There's a contact link on that site.
The Wisdom by WESA show will be published on the 15th and 30th of every month. You can listen on most of your favorite podcast players, and you can also listen on the Horse Radio Network app or on your iOS or Android phone. Just search Horse Radio Network in the App Store. It's free and super easy to use. Be sure to visit all the great shows on the Horse Radio Network at horseradionetwork.com. Thanks for listening to the Wisdom by WESA podcast. WESA, where the industry meets.